bodmas. Written and presented by me, Jean Leguay. This is the legal stuff. Right, what bodmas is the order that we do calculations so that we don't stuff up. And what it stands for is brackets of their powers, okay, powers and square roots, that's of, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Now you might have done BIMDAS or something else like that at school. They're all the same. We're just doing bodmas because that's the one I did and that's the one I'm teaching here. It all works the same. Right, let's take an example. 4 plus 3 times 2. Now that looks pretty easy. Now, funny thing is, I'll get a couple of calculators. There's a calculator. There's another calculator. Okay. Move that to there. I'm going to do it over here. 4 plus 3 times 2 equals 14. That's interesting. 4 plus 3 times 2 equals 10. Well, that's interesting. It did exactly the same sum in two different calculators. That's because one of these calculators isn't using bodmas. So going back to this, what we should do is do the order. So first thing we do is we do brackets. Now there's no brackets in there. There's no powers. That's the odd. There's no division. There is a multiplication. So the first thing we have to do then is the multiplication. Badoink. 3 times 2 is 6. Then we do any additions. We've got a 4 plus 6, so we do the addition next. 4 plus 6 equals 10, and we're finished. So you start at the beginning, brackets of powers, division, multiplication, additions, and subtraction. And the correct answer was 10. And as you saw from the calculators, one of those calculators actually got it wrong. Let's do another one here. 7 plus, brackets, 6 times 5 squared plus 3, close brackets. So what we do here is we go along and the first thing we have to do is address the bracket. So we're going to just look at everything inside the bracket to begin with. That's the first thing we're going to do. Brackets B. And then the next thing we see is that we have a squared, which is a power, which is of. So that's the next thing we do. So we've got 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. That's the next thing we do. Next, we're still dealing with the bracket, we do the multiplication. And 6 times 25 is 150. That's the multiplication. So that's M. We're still inside the bracket. And then we do the addition inside that bracket. 150 plus 3, 153. So that's the addition. Now we've finished the bracket. You see the bracket, when everything from there to there was dealing with the bracket. Now we look at what's left and we do bodmas again, and we've got no brackets in there, we've got no powers there, we've got no division there, we've got no multiplication, and then what we've got is an addition. 7 plus 153 is 160. So we do the last addition. Okay. Here I've got an example. What I'm doing is I've got a duct, an air duct, and it's this shape. And the area for that type of air duct, the equation is given here. This is the equation for the area for that type of air duct. Now I know that the height is 20 centimeters or 0.2 of a meter, and the width is 1 meter. To do my air volume calculations, that's the volume of air that will flow down this duct, I need to find out the area, the cross-sectional area of the duct. So I'm going to substitute in. And the first thing I deal with is the bracket, B for bracket. And pi over 4 minus 1, I calculate that out, and it comes out to minus 0.2146. So I deal with the bracket first. Then I deal with the powers ofs. I've got a height of 0.2 of a meter, so I need to square that. 0.2 of a meter, 0.2 squared is 0.04. Now I'm going to deal with the multiplication, and I've got minus 0.2146 times 0.04. I do the multiplication next, and I get this horrible number, minus 0.008584 plus WH. So now I do the next multiplication, which is the W times H. W is 1 for 1 meter, H is 0.2. So I do the next multiplication, 1 times 0.2, which gives me 0.2. And I do just the addition. Minus 0.008584 plus 0.2 gives me 0.1914 square meters. So, doing it in the correct order, I get the correct number, and the correct order is bodmas. That's the end of that.